Hello YouTube and welcome to Go Girl Gaming's coverage of the game Arche Age. On this channel I will cover housing, farming, crafting, auction house usage, trading, and all related updates and features. This video is a continuation of my in-depth look at crafting in the game. Right now I'm standing in front of a carpentry workbench in order to cover the construction craft. At this point in time, the only reason I am going to cover this is because it's here. Basically, all of these materials that you see under construction materials are needed to create this gazebo farm. The gazebo farm needs land expansion certificates, which are currently not in the game. They're allegedly supposed to be at some point in time, I guess, on the cash shop, but I looked at the cash shop and unless I overlooked it, it's not there. So yeah, so maybe it's for a future date. So we're going to move on to cooking. Right now I'm heading over to where there are cooking tools. I highly recommend the cooking profession for anybody in the game. Crafters, people that just want to level, PvPers, everybody. At least to a degree. Not something necessarily that you just want to keep doing and doing and doing, but crafting, cooking will make things a little easier. I'm going to skip roast meat for a second because the roast meat, the feasting table, and the special cooking goods all require proficiency in cooking in order to make even the very first item. So where everybody will start are the breads and soups and the drinks. The breads and soups are good to have because they act as heals over time and mana regens over time. This is a tiered type of category in that the next item in the tier requires the first item or the previous item in the tier. So your whole grain bread is going to require hardtack. Your vegetable bread is going to require whole grain bread. Your sweet bread is going to require vegetable bread in addition to other crafting materials and so on. Same with the soup. You start with savory soup, but as soon as you go to the whole grain soup, it requires the savory soup. Vegetable soup requires the whole grain soup, and so on. Also, when you get to the third one down, the proficiency in cooking starts to kick in. So basically, the hardtack, the whole grain, the savory soup, and the whole grain soup is where you are going to begin leveling cooking, along with the drinks. The fruit punch and the fruit liquor will give you a 30-minute boost to your max HP for the fruit punch or the max mana for the liquors. For the very second one in the chain, you will require a cooking proficiency. And just like the breads and soups, the next down in the tier requires the previous item in the tier in order to make it. So as you can see here, the honey mead requires the fruit punch in order to make it, and the honey liquor requires the fruit liquor in order to make it. Both of them will give you a 218 boost to either mana if it's the liquor, the fruit liquor, or health if it's the fruit punch for 30 minutes. I use the fruit liquor a great deal. You have to choose. You can't do both. You can only have one beverage active at a time. I chose the fruit liquor all the time because mana was always a problem. And it doesn't matter what you use. If you are a magic person, a melee, a archer, doesn't matter. Next, I'm going to cover the roast meats. Similar to the drinks, these are a booster for a period of time. The savory items will boost your strength. The kebabs will boost your agility. The smoked will boost your spirit. Let me just check. Yes. And the roasted items will boost your intelligence. Again, this is the type of tiered category that requires the previous item to be canalized in order for the next item in the chain to be created, along with additional materials. And again, as you can see, with the very first item from each grouping requires a proficiency in cooking in order to make, and then the next one requires a higher proficiency, and so on. The feasting tables remind me of traditional raid foods. In order to make the Noble Blessing or the Arcane Feast, you will need to go back to your roasted meats, make 2 of those, and then have some lumber on hand to build the table. For the Noble Blessing, that is for your strength and agility, so you'll have to be using the savory and the kebab. And then for the Grace, that's intelligence and spirit, so you'll be needing the smoked and the roast. The Abundant Health Beverage table and the Ample Mana Appetizer table are similar to the first 2, except of course they're focused on health and mana. All 4 of these will last an hour once you put it up, and they have 10 servings each. So if your raid group is more than 10, you'll have to drop more than 1 table. Last is the specialty cooking goods. As I've stated in previous videos, a lot of these crafting professions have a item that you can craft when you reach a certain proficiency in order to increase your proficiency even more. The caveat being, again, that you need a certain proficiency to even make them in the first place. 2, you have to place them in your house. You can't carry them around with you. And the third caveat is that I have no idea if they stack or not. There's nothing indicating that they don't, but I do not know. If someone knows, please make a comment down below. In this case, it's going to be the Culinary Queen's Secrets. For 10,000, it'll give you 1,000 more proficiency when you cook in your house, when you place it. And then the Sun Stove needs 20,000 cooking proficiency, will give you 1,500 proficiency when cooking in your house. This video was a little short, but because handicraft is going to be quite long, handicraft is very, very involved, I am going to stop the video here. I'm going to thank you for watching. I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe and to stay tuned for more crafting videos.